Welcome to Rookie Farms. Today we're going to be talking about building our pig hut, but first, a word from our sponsors. It's just Bert and Ernie. This is the final product of the pig shelter we decided to build. We went with this design because it was cheap and easy with the materials we already have. The actual build was fairly simple. I got the idea from a picture online. There weren't any instructions, just what the final product looked like, and I knew that's what I wanted. So all the steps in here was just me figuring it out as I went, but really not too complicated. The first step was to make a 8-foot by 4-foot rectangle base, and I used treated wood for this. I know that this is going to be on the ground for a long time, and hopefully that gives it a little bit extra life. And I just used some plywood as the front and back. I also marked out the door on the plywood before I put it up. That way it would just be easy for me to go in and cut it off. Also, cutting out the plywood, the curve on the top does not need to be perfect. I end up giving a little bit of a gap when I attach the roofing anyway. The whole project came out to be around $85. The wood was around $40 to $45 for all of it. And then we got a good deal on the metal roofing because we found someone here locally that was deconstructing a chicken coop. We were able to buy 3 8-foot pieces from him, totaling $35. I'm definitely not a builder or a videographer, as you can tell from this video, but it was a lot of fun doing this project and getting Rachel out there to join me. This was just something that we were throwing together because we needed to move the pigs into a new area, and this was an affordable way for us to make sure they still have some shelter. It was great having Rachel out there to be a second set of hands for me. This would have been a lot harder if I had to do it all on my own, and there's a lot of projects I've had to do by myself, but now that we've got Tommy on a better napping schedule, I'm hoping that Rachel will be able to join me for more of these. Cutting out the door was definitely a satisfying part of the project, and Rachel reminded me that we still needed to do that before we got too far along putting on the roof. So we got the door cut off, and that was fairly simple. Throughout the build, I would do a couple of these shake tests, and it had me nervous while we were building it. I thought it would be a little more stable once we got these 2x4s running along, but it was very wobbly. It wasn't until we started getting the roof panels up that it really started to get some stability and some structure to it, and we do shake it at the end so you can see the difference. One of the mistakes that I made was realized when we were putting on these side metal panels onto the pig shelter. The top panel is 8.5 feet long, and that was plenty long, gave us a few inches of overhang on the front and the back. Unfortunately, on the side panels, those were cut to 8 feet, and that was just not long enough for what the pig shelter ended up being, which is, I guess, a little bit over 8 feet. So we're a little bit short, and you can't really tell that on the back side, but on the front side, you'll see a little gap, and I wish I had just done a little bit more math and thinking so that I could make sure that they overhang in the front, but at the end of the day, the pigs really aren't going to be bothered by that. Pigs are destructive and also very heavy. So what we're doing here is adding another layer of support down towards the bottom of the shelter. Hopefully just adding some extra strength so that when the pigs lean up against it, they don't totally dismantle it like they did to our other shelter we built for them up against the garage. Rachel was kind enough to be the one to crawl in there to hold the boards up. She fits in there a lot better than I do, so I appreciated that. This is our first attempt at building a pig shelter like this. I think it went well. It's very affordable and very sturdy. It is really heavy, so be aware of that. Build it where you want it or put wheels on it, because moving this around a bunch is not a good long-term solution. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.